Good day, all you video game fans. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you have all seen the new announcements for the new Pokemon games announced this Pokemon Day. Well, I've been watching a lot of people's reactions to this announcement and have been gauging the responses and have noticed something that hasn't been talked about yet. And if it has been talked about, I must have missed it. The thing that caught my eye the most about this presentation is the drastic change in art styles. We went from this in Pokemon Sword and Shield to this in Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I, for one, actually love this change as it lets the Gen 4 remakes keep its core design whilst updating the world to fit an HD environment. This design choice seems to be a response to the design of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I also love the 3D environments of Sword and Shield, even though they could use some improvement. After rewatching the announcement a number of times, I came to the conclusion that we expect way too much of Game Freak for what they are developing. Let's rewind a little bit. Pokemon was an RPG series created for handheld consoles. The art style evolved from being a top-down game to a game using 3D models and semi-realistic characters on the overworld, all while still being a handheld game. The biggest jump they made was the jump from the DS to the 3DS. With X and Y, they had to change Pokemon's environment at its core to make it work in a 3D world. But what if they hadn't? If Game Freak had gone this route as they did with Pokemon Brilliant, Diamond, and Shining Pearl, with X and Y, and developed the Pokemon animations and models they still use today, whilst retaining the top-down overworld on the 3DS, the games that launched with the Switch could have actually looked more closer to Breath of the Wild than what we are expecting now from Pokemon Legends. They wouldn't have had the battle animations. They would have had the battle animations down pat. All they would have needed to focus on was the overworld when making the jump to home console, and we would have had gorgeous home console Pokemon games from the get-go. X and Y could have had a more full overworld. Sun and Moon could have felt like a grand region hopping adventure while traveling from island to island, and Sword and Shield would have looked like a true home console game worth the $80 price tag. Game Freak may have been able to take more time and develop the remakes for both Gen 3 and Gen 4 in the same art style as well. At this point, this art style is somewhat off-putting. However, by having ILCA develop the remakes, it leaves Game Freak wide open to develop their biggest departure in main series Pokemon yet. Pokemon Legends. I hope by the creation of the Legends game, that Game Freak can continue to make Legends versions of past generations, like Kanto and, oh god, Johto, would be amazing in this format. I also hope that Game Freak can continue to work with ILCA and improve on the chibi graphics of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and make their future main series Pokemon games in this art style. Pokemon is a handheld adventure game first and foremost. Focus on the world and story, focus on the adventure. Let us feel as immersed as we did with Generations 1 to 4, but not worrying about graphics, but instead focus on world building. Gameplay comes first. I am very nostalgic of the first 4 generations of Pokemon as they were the games of my childhood. I still play and love the newer games, but they don't sit as comfortably as the first 4 generations. Since Gen 5, the games have been hit or miss. Gen 5's constant camera angle changes made the sprites too pixelated at times and left me disillusioned. The lack of legacy Pokemon in Black and White made me feel uncomfortable and not at home. Gen 6's shift to 3D, I felt, was very welcome at the time, and the world building felt right. But in hindsight, it feels like getting to the top of a hill and admiring the view right before tripping and falling and rolling down a cliff for a few meters. Gen 7 was just... I didn't mind it, I guess, but by the time I finished Ultra Moon, I felt like I played the same game again, but it was just more annoying. Gen 8 was a welcome to a point. I liked sitting on my couch and playing the gym battles on my TV. It felt like an event, but the world was lacking. Like Pokemon, I am also turning 25 this year. Pokemon has been with me throughout my life and was always an escape from the things that complicated my life as a child. In the Pokemon world, I had friends. With Diamond, like my character in the game, I was 10 years old when playing it. I could live out the life of being successful and bending the wills of gods to my every whim at the proper age of 10 through Pokemon. It was my distraction for most of my life. I want this series to thrive, and I think a return to this chibi art style is what's best for the games. It looks like a game made for 10-year-olds and younger, but will still appeal to those who are nostalgic for Gen 4. Legends looks like a game made for those over 10. For those much younger, Let's Go works as a great entry point. Pokemon Now is working towards broadening their demographic rather than just focusing on their youngest age group. I think now, Pokemon can become what everybody wants and be a game that appeals to all. Thank you for listening to my rant. If somehow you enjoyed my content, please like and subscribe. Feel free to comment what you will and try not to hurt others. I'd love to hear your feedback.